Shout out to the LDBC Lions Den basketball community. Back again with more content. And one of my subscribers, shout out to God's favorite, one of my faithful subscribers, contributor to this channel. He suggested something. He started asking me about different players of the same era and who I thought was better. I think he mentioned to me Moses Malone and Scottie Pippen. I think I'll do that in another video. They weren't really the same era, but kind of they overlapped a little bit. You know, Scottie Pippen came along when Moses Malone, he was a little advanced in years. He was kind of came in. Moses Malone was kind of came in at the end of the Dr. J era, and it's kind of, you know, they kind of overlapped each other, but they weren't really the exact era. But to get to the point of this video, he asked me about who I thought was better, Charles Barkley or Karl Malone. And that's kind of a hard, that's not as easy as you would think, unless you look at the numbers and you really look, because I really studied the game. I watched the game very closely, especially and one of the particular ones two of the particular players that I really liked a lot were Karl Malone and Charles Barkley. They were two of my favorite basketball players. And I gotta say, I give Karl Malone a slight edge, and here's why. But I'm also gonna get into the numbers too, as to, the reason why I think that their numbers were very close, and how I really wouldn't be mad if you chose either one. If you said it was a tie, or if you said Charles Barkley was a little better, or you think Karl Malone, really they're closer than you think, but I picked Malone. Karl Malone for his average, we're just gonna do, because they're kind of big guys, so we're gonna deal with points and rebounds. Karl Malone's career point average is about 25 points, rebounds, 11, between 11 and 12 rebounds per game. He was a phenomenal rebounder. I mean, phenomenal rebounder. I mean, he was a tough guy down low, but at the same time, Karl Malone was just such a prolific scorer. I mean, he could score so many different ways. I mean, he was virtually unstoppable. To me, I would say Carmelo Anthony probably is, in this era, might have been the closest thing to Karl Malone. Karl Malone could back you down, get you up on the block, turn around, hit a mid-range jump shot. I mean, and he barely missed. He had that floater jump shot in the paint that he had. He could tip the ball good, finger roll the ball good. The floater, he just had so many short jump shots. He just the rotation on his fingers was just perfect. The way the ball would just roll off his fingertips. He was so prolific in the way he could score the basketball from so many different ways. He could dunk the ball. He could, every now and then, three-point shooting wasn't big back then, but, Karl Malone, if he had to, he'd pull up, hit a three too. But he was so good inside the paint and inside the, right under, anything under the cylinder, like right around the top of the key, right in that area. I mean, the guy was phenomenal. I think Tim Duncan honestly got a lot of his game from Karl Malone. I'm sure he'd tell you that. Karl Malone he was so fundamentally sound, and he was just so much fun to watch. I mean, he could just score the basketball. I mean, just so many different ways, and he was a good defensive player. He got the job done. Now, if you want to criticize, let's just look at the Charles Barkley people on that side of the argument that want to criticize Karl Malone, and where to be a fair criticism, you could say, because now here's Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley's average, he averaged 22 points a game and between 11 and 12 rebounds. So the rebounds is the same. Now, Charles Barkley was a real tough guy, very physical. When I played basketball in high school, I was a lot like Charles Barkley. I was short, but I could bang down low with the big guys. I actually grew 2 more inches after I got out of high school. Now I'm just a little under 6 foot. But when I played in high school, I was only like 5'9". But I played power forward. And I knew how to get physical under the basket. Charles Barkley's listed at 6'6", but it's been quoted as saying he's 6'4", maybe 6'5" on a good day. I think 6'5" with shoes, 6'4" barefooted. Wasn't very tall, but very, very tough. Just a tough specimen. I mean, he could score the basketball very well. As you can see, it's only a 3-point differential in points between Charles Barkley and Karl Malone. But I think where Charles Barkley could probably have the edge, he definitely didn't have the finesse for sure that Karl Malone had. He didn't have the finesse. But I think Charles Barkley was way more self-sufficient because he could get most of his offense on his own. Not to say Karl Malone could get his offense, but a lot of the points that Karl Malone got were predicated on John Stockton because they were a 1-2 punch. I think they were the second. Maybe, well, I'll give him number 3. I said Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, number 1. Kobe and Shaq, number 2. I got them number 3. Stockton and Malone. You could put any of those 3 in any order, but those are definitely the top 3. Well, I mean, even Magic Johnson, James Worthy. I mean, you could put those 4 anywhere in the top. But top tier, top guys as far as 1-2 punch. But a lot of Karl Malone's offense was predicated on him playing off of John Stockton. Whereas Charles Barkley was a lot more self-sufficient in creating his own offense. Now, I'm not saying that Karl Malone couldn't create his own offense, but Charles Barkley, every point he got pretty much was his. Because even when Kevin Johnson was there, most of that offense came from Charles Barkley. That's where Barkley was, he just was, when it came to scoring, he got it on his own. That's just pretty much how it is, as far as Charles Barkley is concerned. But I mean, that argument, it's an interesting discussion, interesting debate. Shout out to mad props to God's favorite, my subscriber that came and he challenged me. He asked me he really didn't ask me to do content on it, but when I saw what he sent me, I said, man, I got to do content on that. I got to do a video on that. But I give Karl Malone a slight edge. I give him a slight edge, but not by much. All right, Brandon Love Sports TV. It's your boy. I'm out. Oh. I forgot to mention free throw shoot. I think that's what puts Karl Malone over Barkley. Karl Malone was just a phenomenal free throw shooter. I mean, you feared him. If you fouled him and he went to the line, you might as well put 2 points on the board. I don't know what I don't have his career free throw shooting in front of me, but it's got to be right around 90%. I mean, he was incredible, an incredible free throw shooter. Definitely top tier, one of the top free throw shooters in the history of the game. So, all right, those are my arguments. I got Karl Malone, slight edge, but not by much. Brandon Love Sports.